Ethan was a mad dog. He only saw the world in terms of his inner circle and outsiders. And I was the sole occupant of that fiercely guarded territory. My friend Lucas once warned me, when a top-tier alpha obsessively protects an omega like this, marking his territory all over you? If you think he's not into you, you're delusional. I'd laugh it off after all. I was Ethan's brother. Later, during his rut, he'd throw away his inhibitors right in front of me, pinning my fleeing ankle with that feverish grip. He'd murmur with terrifying devotion, "Ryan, you're mine." The sight of Ethan waiting at my office exit had become routine. Leaning against his car door with hands in pockets. His glacial expression melted the moment he spotted me. Those long legs closed the distance in 3 strides before crushing me against his chest. His nose pressed against my scent gland, inhaling deeply until satisfied only his jasmine lingered on me. "What should we have for dinner?" he'd ask, boyish smile returning. I never questioned our dynamic until today's lunch with Lucas. My friend hesitated before voicing, "Ryan, doesn't it strike you as odd? The way Ethan acts about you? His company dwarfs the one Dad left me." I shrugged. "He's not after my assets." Lucas rolled his eyes. "Not the money. You idiot. The man himself. Can't you see Ethan's in love with you?" I choked on my drink. "That's my brother you're talking about." "Stepbrother," Lucas corrected. "No blood ties. A prime alpha guarding an omega like a jealous lover? Marking you daily? Open your eyes, Ryan." The conversation made me reconsider. When did this start? Probably since Ethan's delayed alpha awakening at 18. From that first whiff of his cedarwood scent, he'd begun sniffing me daily like a possessive puppy, overriding any foreign alpha traces with his own. "Don't let others scent you," teenage Ethan would plead, eyes dark. "My fragrance's better anyway. You like it, right?" After his parents died in that plane crash when he was 13, my father took him in. I practically raised the boy, indulging his every whim out of pity. Letting him mark me became habit, until the world saw me as some alpha's treasured mate. Truth was, Ethan did act like a rabid guard dog. He chased off every potential friend or lover, leaving me isolated. At 26, maybe this arrangement had gone too far. I pressed a hand to my scent gland abruptly. Ethan froze mid-step, confusion flashing across his usually controlled features. "Ryan." Stepping back, I forced calm into my voice. "No more scenting. No more territorial marks." His face drained of color, then hardened into glacial fury. "Why?" The single word vibrated with barely leashed violence. I glanced at the spectators around us but remained silent, pulling Ethan's hand toward the car. Once inside, I studied Ethan's stormy expression and carefully chose my words. "Ethan, you're 26 now and I'm 29. Neither of us has a partner. As an omega, people might misinterpret our relationship. Rumors could spread easily." Ethan stayed quiet for a long moment before asking, "Is this about Victor?" The name of my college crush hit like a forgotten relic. "What does he have to do with this?" I frowned. His fingers tightened compulsively despite his calm facade. "He's returning for your 30th birthday party. Are you getting back together?" Victor, my first love. Until I realized his alpha status fueled an insufferable superiority complex. The memory still made my skin crawl. "Absolutely not," I denied quickly. Ethan's gaze turned glacial. "Then why change things now? The only variable is Victor." "Don't lie to me, Ethan." After brief hesitation, I decided to exploit Victor's notorious eternal lover persona. "Fine. It's because of Victor." Let the playboy bear this blame. His dramatic claims about attending my birthday for reconciliation were clearly hunting grounds for new conquests anyway. Ethan studied me intensely before finally stating, "Understood. I'll comply with your wishes." The chill in his voice made me uneasy, but relief outweighed concern. He'd agreed to distance himself, mission accomplished. True to his word. Ethan stopped marking me. His new formality transformed us into polite strangers. Each day of increasing detachment left me with inexplicable tightness in my chest. Like swallowing fish bones that never quite descended. This strained atmosphere persisted until my birthday. Chatting with business associates. I suddenly realized Ethan had vanished from his usual shadowing position. Lucas snorted at my concern. Stop, Mother Henning. He's grown if anything happens. Others should worry. Before I could retort, shouts erupted outside, emergency. Alpha en route. Simultaneously. Overwhelming cedar scent flooded my senses. Nearly triggering my own cycle. Dread pulling in my gut. I shoved through the crowd now clustered around a storage room. The air thickened with violent pheromones, unmistakable S-class aggression. As I pushed forward, coppery undertones registered. Not concern for Ethan's safety, years of combat training made him predator. Not prey, but sudden realization, where was Victor? His absence contradicted all attention-seeking patterns. Barking orders to evacuate guests. I entered armed with suppressants. Darkness enveloped the room. Yet primal awareness prickled, twin predatory gazes tracking my every movement. Light switch clicked. The fluorescent glare revealed Ethan shirtless amidst splintered furniture. Bloodied knuckles gripping broken chair legs. Victor lay motionless at his feet. Face swollen beyond recognition. My breath caught, not at the violence, but Ethan's feral grin as he crooned. Happy birthday. Your problem's solved. Ethan Miller carelessly wiped the blood from his hands, meeting my gaze with a chilling smirk. Ryan. Look. He can't even defend himself against me. How could he possibly protect you? His voice dropped to a venomous whisper. He's not worth your affection. My vision blurred with angry tears. Have you lost your mind? Ethan? If this gets out, you'll be locked away for years. Let Victor go right now. The teenager merely pressed his boot harder against Victor's mangled hand. His expression darkening. Were you scolding me earlier because of him? The dangerous glint in his eyes intensified as he leaned closer. Twice. Ryan. The only 2 times you've ever been truly angry with me, both because of Victor. The accusation dragged me back to our college years. Back then, I'd lingered at Victor's side as his friend, nursing secret feelings until graduation day. My confession letter turned to confetti in my hands after overhearing his drunken rant at a frat party. Thank God I'm an alpha. Victor had slurred to his friends, sloshing whiskey over the bar. Omegas are just animals in heat once they're marked. Did you see that omega crawling all over me last week? Pathetic creatures can't even afford suppressants. His buddy elbowed him. You didn't seem to mind. Victor's cruel laugh still haunted me. I'm doing charity work. They should be thanking me for saving them from their own biology. The memory twisted like a knife. This was the man everyone considered a gentleman, the campus golden boy who'd protectively kept me from alpha gatherings. Wouldn't want people talking, he'd claimed. And like a fool, I'd believed him. After that night, I'd started avoiding Victor. But he'd clung like a shadow, cornering me in alleyways after class. That's when Ethan found us, my foster brother still in his high school uniform, slamming Victor against brick walls before I could explain. Stop! You'll kill him! I'd screamed, grappling with a feral 16-year-old Ethan. Even then, his rage was terrifying. Security finally dragged him off, leaving Victor bleeding in the gutter. My hands shook remembering the hospital aftermath. What were you thinking? I'd shouted at Ethan. You're weeks from graduation. He could press charges. Ethan's eyes had burned with wounded fury. So I should have let him force you into heat? Let him mark you right there in the alley? His voice cracked. Or was that what you wanted? Maybe I interrupted something. Ethan! I'd grabbed his collar, shaking with rage. How could he think that? Now, years later, That same wounded fury contorted Ethan's features as he stood over Victor's broken body. His chest heaved with ragged breaths. Combat boots stained crimson. "Tell me, Ryan." His whisper carried the weight of a decade's obsession. "Why does he still matter more than me? Ryan, are you really going to hit me over him?" Ethan's voice trembled with betrayal. "We've been inseparable for years. Yet some alpha you met recently matters more? Fine. If you won't let me care about your business, don't interfere with mine either." After our explosive fight, Ethan gave me the cold shoulder for days. I assumed he'd calm down eventually. But 3 days later came the gut punch. He'd filed legal papers to sever our familial ties and taken an underground fighting gig with death waivers. My heart stopped. I raced to campus, cornered him in the chemistry lab, and only after explaining my earlier outburst did he reluctantly come home. Since that incident, I've walked on eggshells around him. Now, breathing through my nose to contain the anger simmering beneath my skin, I keep my tone deliberately soft. "Ethan, let's get your suppressant first. We'll handle everything else after. Okay?" The air crackles with his red-induced aggression. My own neck pulses where fresh suppressant patches strain against heated skin, their fading effectiveness an hourglass counting down to disaster. 2 cautious steps forward. Then 2 more when he doesn't flinch. Just as my fingers brush the injection cap, his hand snakes out to grip my wrist. His eyes hold that dangerous glint again, the kind that strips away pretense. Suddenly I'm 13 again, pinned under his newly presented alpha strength as fangs grazed my bonding gland. Back when I couldn't bring myself to strike him, even as blood bloomed on my collar. "Ethan," I warn, twisting futilely in his grasp. His free hand fists my shirt, yanking until our chests collide. His lips ghost over my scent patches. "Why use suppressants?" His breath scalds my neck. "When I have you?" Ice floods my veins. Our 98% pheromone compatibility makes this Russian roulette. One whiff of my scent could have him ripping through clothes and scents alike. The syringe trembles in my grip. Before I can react, he snatches the injector and hurls it against the wall. Glass shatters like my composure. Shoving him hard, I snap. "Are you trying to ruin your life? This isn't some game." His laugh chills bone marrow. "Worried about me?" Steel-toe boots crunch into Victor's ribs. Or him. Something in me fractures. My palm connects with his cheek before I register moving. The slap echoes. For 18 years. Through stolen motorcycles and ER visits and that disastrous first rut, I never raised a hand. Now he stares at me with ruined devotion, slowly drawing a switchblade. Victor's choked scream follows the blade's arc. 1 strike from you. Ethan watches blood pool beneath Victor's arm. Eerily calm. Equals 10 from me. Fair trade. My vision spots with rage. Thank God for contingency plans at my signal. Medics swarm in. I lunge for the knife. Metal bites palm flesh. "Fix him!" Ethan's roar shakes the room as crimson drips between us. His crumbling control flooding the space with cedar smash aggression. My knees buckle. The suppressant patches peel at the edges. Chaos erupts. I wrenched my hand free from Ethan's grip and bolted toward the exit. Just as I reached the door, his low voice trailed after me. "Ryan, will you come back to stay with me after getting bandaged?" I didn't answer. Ethan had crossed the line this time. His reckless behavior during RET demanded consequences. No suppressants. No comfort. Let the stubborn brat stew in his own mess. The self-inflicted cut on my palm would teach him how his impulsiveness hurts those closest. Lucas shadowed me to the hospital, hesitantly voicing his concern. "Aren't you worried he'll pull another stunt?" Rubbing my temples, I gestured toward the security monitors displaying my estate. 24-hour guards. Biometric locks that only open from outside. Let's see him try escaping this fortress. My blood boiled anew when the doctor handed me Victor's medical reports. That little shit had really done a number on him. Last time, We barely scraped by using that pre-confession footage I'd secretly recorded. Now, Victor's team had scrubbed everything clean. Years of corporate warfare taught me old foxes don't leave tails exposed. Forcing a smile, I entered the hospital suite. Victor lounged with an apple, predatory gaze tracking my movements. "So Ryan," he drawled, tossing the core. "What tricks do you have left to save your precious brother this time?" His sticky fingers crawled over my wrist, settling on my thigh with suggestive pressure. "One night. That's all it takes to wipe the slate clean." I trapped his wandering hand beneath mine, maintaining perfect composure. "A proposal this significant requires a consideration period." His laugh grated like rusted steel. "Take all the time you want, darling. You'll find my vaults empty." The arrival of his ashen-faced assistant interrupted our stalemate. "Mr. Davis? Your father's on line 3. Watching Victor's smirk curdle during that call became my personal highlight. "Seems you've got quite the guardian devil," he spat after slamming the phone down. My smile turned saccharine. "How many days were you planning to grant me, Victor?" His snarl followed me out. "This isn't over, Ryan." The victory high lasted precisely until my security chief called. "Sir, Mr. Miller's barricaded himself in your suite, refusing suppressants. Full defensive pheromone lockdown." My molars ground loud enough to echo. "Spoiled rotten. That boy." Ethan's labored breathing filled the line when he finally picked up, no pleading. Just tense silence. "What's this? Some half-baked hostage situation?" His bitter chuckle raised goosebumps. "Who could I possibly threaten? Ryan? You removed all my escape routes and witnesses, bro. But didn't you already make your choice? Twice. You chose Victor immediately both times. Why bother with me now? I won't take suppressants. If I want to torment myself, that's my business. Even if I burn out into a fool, it's none of your concern." Top-tier alphas can't endure a rut alone. Their pheromones become overwhelmingly potent during this period, reaching peak intensity that no human body could withstand. They either take suppressants or find a highly compatible omega with stamina. Without either, they might truly deteriorate mentally. I snapped. "Ethan, stop this nonsense." The phone crackled with bitter laughter. "Don't pretend to care now, bro. Since I'm clearly less important than Victor, go comfort him. I'll face the consequences of my actions." The line went dead. Damn it! I slammed the steering wheel. Anger aside, I couldn't let Ethan's self-destructive streak go unchecked. The tires screeched as I U-turned toward the Miller family estate. The butler stood ready with suppressants and pheromone-filtering masks. I injected myself, layered extra scent patches, and masked up. The bedroom door stood ajar. Ethan lay curled on my discarded clothes, veins bulging as he fought his rampaging biology. "Stubborn idiot," I muttered, gripping the injector. Best to pin him down and administer the dose swiftly. But red-heightened instincts betrayed my approach. Ethan's head snapped toward the door, Predator's gaze sharpening before softening upon recognizing me. "Here to force suppressants on me? Save your effort." I lunged, slamming him against the mattress. "What the hell are you trying to prove?" Ethan stared impassively. "You know exactly what I want." My throat tightened. After Lucas's revelations and Ethan's recent obsessive behavior, the truth glared obvious. But I was his brother, blood-related or not. That title had defined us for years. Ethan's burning palm suddenly slid under my shirt, scorching my lower back. I jerked away. "Enough." He fell back with bitter laughter. "Leave, bro. Unless you want an alpha's desperation to override reason. I might claim you." The warning held weight, even through filters. His cedarwood pheromones seeped into my system, stirring dangerous heat. Grabbing his arm, I anticipated resistance. His fingers dug into my healing wound. Ah. The pain broke his frenzy. Did I hurt you? Let me see. Metal clicked. While he panicked, I cuffed his left wrist to the bed frame and jammed the injector into his right arm. Coolant hissed through the chamber window as I ventilated the pheromone-saturated room. I flicked Ethan's damp forehead. Big talker. Wait till this rep passes, you'll regret threatening me. As I turned to leave, my hem caught in trembling fingers. Ethan's voice cracked. Going to comfort Victor now? I smell his scent on you. I tilted my head back, exhaling deeply before speaking after a long silence. Ryan and I aren't in that kind of relationship. Everything I told you before was a lie. The pheromones came from the hospital. Pausing, I added, Ethan, I'm your brother. This is wrong. What you feel isn't love, it's dependency. You're just afraid of losing my attention if I start seeing someone else. This isn't affection but possessiveness. I kept rambling while Ethan remained motionless, not absorbing a word. He abruptly grabbed my wrist, pressing my palm against his zipper. I'm not some rutting animal, Ryan. At 26, I know the difference between love and obsession. This? He pushed my hand harder against himself. Only reacts to you. If you doubt my feelings, he continued, eyes burning, I'll spend my whole life proving this is love. I jerked away like I was scorched. You're insane. What the fuck are you making me touch? Seeing his stubbornness, I snapped. I'm moving out. Stay here and sober up. Someone will unlock you later. After work, the butler texted that Ethan had been obedient, taking suppressants, causing no trouble. Suspicious but relieved. I assumed he'd come to his senses. How wrong I was. 2 days later, Lucas's tearful voice message came, Ryan. Help! Your brother's gone psycho. Before I could respond, Victor's text exploded. What cosmic debt do I owe you? I swore off you. But your psycho brother's sabotaging my deals. I fired back, you're the psycho. Before blocking him, calling Lucas, I demanded, what's Ethan done? He figured out I warned you. Lucas panicked. Now he's convincing my father to ship me to African coal mines. You know I'm just a bastard child. Dad'll trade me for business with the Miller family in a heartbeat. Calm down. You won't mine coal. I promised. Racing to Lucas's mansion, Ethan emerged smoking, leaning casually against the gatehouse. Why harass Lucas? I demanded. He needed lessons in discretion. He drawled, exhaling smoke. What'll stop you? I challenged, knowing I couldn't restrain Ethan's resources. His gaze drilled into me before dropping to my waist. I've got pent-up energy. My jaw clenched. This mad dog still resented me abandoning him during rut. Even if we fuck, I said coldly, you'd only claim my body. Ethan's humorless smile didn't reach his eyes. Own the body. Own the leverage. Stay long enough. His thumb brushed my lip. You'll catch feelings. I recoiled at the innuendo. Your place. Now. He followed stone-faced to the car. We both had vulnerabilities, mine obvious. His being me. But when I pulled the combat knife, Ethan anticipated, snatching it to press against his own throat. Try harder next time, brother. The knife was for self-defense. Razor sharp. It left a bloody trail across Ethan's neck before I realized what happened. His lashes fluttered downward as he murmured, Bro. People only cherish what they've lost. If I die here today, would you remember me forever? My face drained of color. Stop. Ethan. I begged. Voice cracking. I'll give you anything. Please put the knife down. Those obsidian eyes held eerie calm as Ethan stated. I want to smell your pheromones. Tearing off my suppressant patch, I flooded the car with jasmine scent. Ethan inhaled greedily. his proximity igniting feverish heat across my skin. Only then did I realize the stress from our previous encounter had triggered my early heat. Slumping against him, I felt his stubble graze my forehead. Was that promise real? He rumbled. Yes. Resignation colored my reply. Let him have this. Better than watching himself destruct. The nearest hotel witnessed 3 days of devouring passion and smoldering rage. Through heat-addled haze, I insisted on protection. No permanent bond, our only safeguard against irreversible entanglement. Ethan's silence spoke volumes before he punished my caution with renewed ferocity. Since then, Ethan's been luring me to bed intermittently. I don't hate it. Actually, I crave his expertise during his abstinent phases. Though I'd never beg. This pseudo-incest guilt won't fade, we might not share blood. But I raised him. Lucas cut through my turmoil with one question: who comes to mind first if you marry tomorrow? Ethan's face materialized unbidden. I shook my head violently. I'm losing it. Lucas smirked. Look. I'm terrified of that psycho and low-key want him to suffer. But as your friend, you're not unloving. Just trapped by this brother facade. Life's short. Follow your heart. How much did he pay you? 3 million. Lucas avoided my gaze. I massaged my temples. Typical Ethan. Yet Lucas wasn't wrong. Every time Ethan's feelings surfaced, I'd weaponize our familial label to suppress whatever this was. That evening, Ethan sniffed me for rival alpha scents before I dragged him to dinner. 1 year. I bargained. If I can move beyond being your brother, we try. Otherwise, we reset. His protest died at my raised hand. Give me space. Ethan. Reluctant nod. During that year, Ethan became model boyfriend material, sweeter than he'd ever been as a brother. My defenses crumbled until I surrendered. The morning after our official commitment, his rut hit. During this period, Ethan had been relying on inhibitors to get through his ruts. He said, I was afraid I'd scare you away. Now that we're together, I couldn't let my alpha depend on inhibitors anymore. But before the first day was even over, I found myself trembling as I dragged my exhausted body to get the inhibitors. Pleading in a shaky voice, Ethan, let's just use the inhibitors. I can't handle this anymore. Bro. Ethan ruthlessly tossed the inhibitors aside, gripping my ankle as I tried to escape. He spoke with obsessive desperation. Don't run away. Bro. You promised to help me through this rut. Don't abandon me again. Bro. You're mine. His pheromones clouded his mind. Ethan pressed his fangs against my scent gland in excitement, nodding inside me with frenzied intensity. 7 days later, he held me contentedly in his arms, barely containing his grin as he murmured, Bro. Let's get married. Too drained to put force behind it. I slapped his chest. You just earned yourself another year of probation before marriage. The alpha's pitiful whine made my heart ache a little. I was about to tell him never mind when a sudden movement sent sharp pain shooting through my lower back. Any trace of sympathy vanished instantly. My ass was throbbing.